Good morning, everyone. Fellow officers, honored guests, citizens of Baltimore County. Thank you for taking the time to observe annual Police Memorial Day. I've stood for many years in front of you and been out in the crowd, and it's always great to see new faces, but I also take notice of those who come year after year after year. Many retirees, you're paying quite an honor to the agency and the officers that you work with, and I certainly salute you for that. This is an occasion to remember the 9 Baltimore County police officers who gave their lives in the line of duty. And in doing so, well, we contemplate the meaning of the work and what we do. This is what it means for me, to pay respect to these people and also self-reflection on what we do and what the next day may bring to us. I do not need to tell you that all across this great nation, law enforcement finds itself beset in turmoil, controversy, and danger. Here in Maryland, police, over the past 12 months, have been touched by all three. The turmoil from the 2015 unrest in Baltimore City felt keenly here and in other counties touching Baltimore, carried over into the new year, and has yet to see resolution in the courts or the court of public opinion. The controversy spawned by the Freddie Gray incident and the contentious incidents in other towns and cities and states continues to dominate the headlines. They foment division and cast an unrelenting spotlight on our mission, our methods, and our motives. Police work is inherently dangerous. It is a fact. The danger is not, as some critics of law enforcement contend, a myth. According to UCR reports, over 48,000 police officers were assaulted in just 2014 alone. 20% of these assaults involve guns and knives and other dangerous weapons. Police have not invented the threat in order to avoid the conversation about accountability. We understand fully the need to explain and defend the use of our powers, the powers entrusted to us, and to confront errors and wrongdoing on our part if and when they do occur. We are not imagining that the times have produced anger and resentment over everything from economic and racial injustice to mental health issues and a perceived failure of many institutions in our society. All of this has morphed into a feeling among some members of our society for disdain for their government, governmental authority, and in general contempt among some for police in particular. While most Americans respect the police and their role in the great human experience and understand the challenges we face each and every day, the present climate is breeding ground for non-compliance and violence against police officers. Even wholly justifiable police actions are scrutinized, criticized, and second-guessed in TV and newspaper articles and stories, in the social media, and conversations around the water cooler. We embrace that national conversation. However, we are concerned. We are concerned about the pervasive anti-police rhetoric that empowers the few, the unbalanced, and the radical to turn their feelings into deadly action. Last year, the U.S. Department of Justice published a study on ambush attacks on police, and it notes this: concerns about targeted violence against police are rising in an era of strained community relations, struggles with the police legitimacy, and anti-government extremism. After years of holding steady, the number of ambushes on police is rising, and now constitutes the second leading cause of shooting deaths amongst police officers, ambush attacks. The recent deaths of 2 Hartford County Sheriff's deputies and a Prince George's County detective, unprovoked, sudden attacks make us painfully aware of this fact. In 2011, for the first time in 14 years, and again in 2014, more police officers were killed by firearms violence than by automobile accident. And we're on pace to see it again this year. You know, as time marches on, it has been 2 years, an eternity in this era of 30-second attention spans since the events of Ferguson, Missouri. It started us down this road, if you reflect back upon the chronology. And still, there's no end in sight, so it appears, to this tempest we're faced with. We must remember that tenacity of the national debate shows that citizens in many communities have experiences and points of view to which we must pay attention. And we are. We are. We're listening. We're modifying practices and procedures. This disconnect in some of our towns and some of our cities is not based on nothing. Here in Baltimore County, we have enjoyed that great bank of public citizen and trust. It's been built upon over decades by many retirees and active personnel in this room. But you know, as an officer for nearly 40 years, who's witnessed, like many of you, commitment and sacrifice of thousands of fellow police officers, men and women, and the ultimate sacrifice of so many, I am disturbed by the disparagement of our profession. I am troubled at the stubbornness of the chosen narrative of problem policing, even when the facts show an officer properly responded to a threat. I am concerned that the mood of the moment may cause some, even some of us, to question the nobility and worth of our calling. We will never succumb to this, though, as a body, as a group. We're too strong. Last year, 124 officers gave their lives across this nation in the quest for a peaceful, orderly society, enforcing the rule of law and upholding the Constitution. 42 of those died by gunfire. And already this year, 35. 35 police officers have lost their lives in this nation. And you know, these figures actually understate the risks. Given the number of non-fatal shootings on the rise across this nation, we can conclude, I believe, that the number of fatalities would be even greater if it were not for advances in protective gear, technology, and especially to my comrades in public safety, fire and EMS response, robust medical treatment, shock trauma facilities. These first responders are saving people in early days, and officers in an earlier time, they would have died, while taking plenty of risks themselves in many cases. They're our partners, and we thank them. To take a longer view, consider National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial in Washington, D.C. More than 20,000 names are on that memorial. Officers killed in the line of duty. Regardless of when they lived and died, these men and women of valor, fearless in the face of danger, caring for their fellow man, driven by a cause more important than themselves. Our 9 fallen heroes are remembered there as they are here. This morning is a time to remember them as we knew them, friends, husbands, fathers, as sons and brothers. I think it's a time for laughter and peace as we recall them in a happier time. perhaps it's a time to feel pangs of grief anew. But most of all, this ceremony is a chance to reflect on why we are police officers and why, no matter how fraught the times, the work we do matters. The lives we have lost in Baltimore County, our police officers' lives, certainly matter. It's just an honor to be with you again this year. Thank you.